Right now, we've got alerts out for portions of the Caribbean. We've got a hurricane watch for the southern part of Haiti, and then we've got the tropical storm watch out for the island of Jamaica.
So for Haiti, it's not just about the wind. You know, if there was flash flood watch or landslide watch, we'd issue those. And Jamaica, could tropical storm watches or warnings become hurricane watches or warnings? Maybe even for a major hurricane.
Absolutely. Mike, you've got the very latest on what we're looking at with the current state of Melissa.
Well, so Melissa just sits there in plain sight, right? Really splitting the goalpost between Hispaniola and South America. Winds haven't picked up that much. Honestly, we were sitting at the same place here over the last 24 hours or so, 50-mile-per-hour winds. One of the things that is a concern is this right here. Movement is just 2 miles per hour. So it's just sitting there and spinning and not going anywhere anytime soon. The steering currents have kind of completely broken down here, and there's not much going on. But what you can see is the center of circulation sits right here, but all the convection sits over here. So what we are getting is some wind shear that's approaching here from the west and then pushing all the convection off to the east. So we've got a lopsided storm at the moment, although we are getting some good ventilation out of the storm. So there could be signs that this thing does increase in intensity in the not too distant future. But as far as the track goes, again, very meandering here. Doesn't do a whole lot over the course of the next 5 days here. However, I would say this, the one thing that has certainly changed today is that peak intensity wind speed. Now explicitly forecasting a major Category 4 hurricane with motion here that kind of drifts it to the north, maybe drifts it to the west here. But the models, again, have a lot of discrepancies here. So it could go in a lot of different directions. We all need to pay very close attention to this one. If you look at the sea surface temperatures, they are ripe for intensification. And it's not just sea surface temperatures, but it's also deep ocean heat content, right? So even well down through the ocean, there's a lot of heat there. So what that tells us is even if there's some upwelling that is created by Melissa, it's really just replacing warm ocean water with more warm ocean water. So that's not really an inhibiting factor to further strengthening here. So just one of the factors that we're going to watch here, and potentially maybe a little bit of weakening in the wind shear over the next several days may also aid in more intensification. On the visible satellite, you can see it clear as day sitting right in here. It maybe actually has a little bit better look to it on satellite, at least, than it did yesterday or the day before. But I think over the course of time here, there's a little bit of convection starting to pop, you know, just to the east of the center here. But ultimately, watch this thing increase in intensity over the course of the next few days, again, with a Category 3 or 4 hurricane by Sunday, then into Monday. There is some lightning in the storm, so there's some convection in there. Again, most of this is displaced from where the actual low is. The low sits about right in there, so everything is off to the east of that. But not a lot of heavy rain force right now in Hispaniola. Not a lot for us there in South America either. But where will this go over the course of time? How much rain will it produce? How big a wind threat will this end?